Let's go ahead and make a few final adjustments before we send this mix over to Spencer Hansen so that he can create his vocal part. If you recall, we have some notes from Easy Keys that cut off a bit abruptly. Let's zoom in a bit and listen to the end of the song. Right there. So the bass actually extends for a long time. We'll have to address that as well. But let's go ahead and extend out all of these Easy Keys notes. Now, the other thing we need to do is actually go into our main Easy Keys track, and we need to take this MIDI and bring it into our DAW. I already have the MIDI from before. I did a MIDI export from Easy Keys, and that's just under the menu, song track, export song as MIDI file. I'll go ahead and bring that in. Always double check to make sure everything lines up. So now we have our Easy Keys track on our main MK1 chorus. We need to go into the plugin and disable the follow host. Very important, so you don't get MIDI playing both in the plugin and from your DAW. You don't want that duplicate audio. Now, if we play our song, everything should sound fine. Now let's go ahead and extend out the ending so it matches what we did in the second and third instances of Easy Keys. Let's take a listen. That looks pretty close. So I've made some subtle mix adjustments. I brought the kick drum down just a little bit and actually brought the Easy Keys bus down a little bit as well and the bass guitar down. And we had previously brought the level of the entire drum mix down a little bit. I want a little bit of headroom when I'm mastering, so that's the reason I brought those down. And again, I just kind of evened out the levels of the bass, the keys, and everything. So it's a pretty smooth mix from drums to keys to bass. And then I also color-coded a few of the tracks. All of our drum channels have a certain color. From that gray color, we have green for bass, this purple color for the keys. All of our bus channels have this darker gray color as well. And what I've done at this point is I've sent the track over to Spencer. So I just created a stereo mix of this track, a reference stereo mix, sent it to Spencer, had him take a listen to it just to see if he had any feedback. He really liked it. The one change he actually wanted us to make was to transpose the entire song down a couple steps so it fit better within his vocal range. So when I created this song, if we go into Easy Keys, I just use the default key of C for everything. And if we zoom in some of this MIDI here, you can see it starts on C, but he wants it lowered a couple steps. So if we go down 2 steps, basically 2 half steps, we would be in B flat. That's going to fit his vocal range a bit better. So what we need to actually do is lower everything. I can do this a couple different ways. In Easy Keys, I can simply click on the key and go down to B flat. And you can see it changes all of the chords, but the chord progression, all of the actual MIDI is exactly the same. We've essentially transposed it down 2 steps. I can, of course, export that MIDI out. We'll export it as a MIDI file. And we already have this Easy Keys Neo Soul, so we'll call this new version Easy Keys Neo Soul B flat. What I could simply do is delete the MIDI in the main Easy Keys track, and I can bring in this transposed MIDI. But the problem is we already fixed the ending, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm just going to go into each of these Easy Keys instances. I'm going to select everything, then the entire song, right-click on any note and say transpose, and we're just going to go down 2 steps. And we're done. We'll do that for all of the MIDI in the second instance of Easy Keys. Even though we chop this up, we can still grab everything. Right-click, transpose. We're going down 2 steps. Grab the last one. Transpose 2 steps. That covers all our Easy Keys, and we'll do the same thing for the bass. So now we've transposed everything down to B flat. Let's take a listen. So we've transposed the entire song down 2 steps as Spencer requested. So all of the melodic tracks, we bumped down 2 half steps to B flat. So now this track should be ready for Spencer to add his vocals. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to him to talk about what he has done and to also give you some insight on some of his workflow techniques and easy mix presets that he likes to use.